I'm Crispin Sage.
And I'm Paprika Jones.
And we are News Tonight. A popular trend in team productivity could be linked to, believe it or not, more socialization. Paprika?
Thank you, Crispin. A group of SIT students named Team Oregano talked to students and faculty to explore this topic. We'll go to a correspondent at SIT. To you.
This broadcast has been brought to you by Equal Exchange Fairly Traded Dark Chocolate.
I'm convinced there is a connection, but what exactly that connection is, I'm not sure. And it's hard to say if you could measure to what extent it increases productivity. What I can say is that without socialization, the team is likely to be in trouble, and so it may not function at all. So I don't know whether we can claim that this amount of socialization will lead to X amount of productivity, but I would make the claim that you need socialization to achieve any sort of functional group.
Yes, I think it's been really valuable. I guess in our group, it's pretty diverse. I mean, there are people from different countries, really culturally diverse. So it's been really valuable to have the time to get to know each other, and I think that that's a big part of our learning process is doing the is just being able to talk to each other and share experiences. And I mean, I think SIT really values that.
I was just wondering if you thought that having a socialization time, either formally or informally, has a link to teams' productivity.
I assume it has a positive impact on group productivity to have some socialization time, getting to know each other maybe at the beginning, and even like allocating time that we are allowed to socialize, to speak off topic. Categorically, I would think it would have an impact. I mean, specific examples would be like different groups would have different settings, but I think in general, yes.
Do you think that allowing socialization time in multicultural team has an impact on productivity?
Definitely.
Do you want to expand any thoughts on that?
Definitely. I was thinking back, I actually feel pretty strongly about this one because in my experience with a multicultural team, I can think of a really specific example of how it helped me. There was a colleague of mine that philosophically we came from really different places. Our management style was completely different, and he drove me insane, quite frankly. Like, everything he said in meetings made my blood boil, and we always were kind of bumping heads. And is that a problem? But we socialized together because we socialized together, and we would go dancing, and we would like to drink wine, and he's a great dancer, and so we would salsa together. And I can remember moments in those meetings when I was starting to get frustrated and my blood was starting to boil. I would have these flashbacks to the fun time we had had together, and my patience level would shoot right up, and I would calm down. And I think social time just makes people more of a person, makes people, it raises your empathy levels for people when you see them as more of a person and not only as a professional or a colleague.
I'm reminded of the work done on networking, and a lot of talk nowadays about how networking is beneficial to help you advance in your career. And I question the value of informal networking that is done now. I think more structured networking, where you actually are helped to engage with somebody who can genuinely advance your career, will be much more valuable.
Okay.
So I make a link between those two.
I'm doing group dynamics now in the math program, and we had group work, and some of that time was not strictly work time. However, it was not specified in the beginning. Like, this chunk of time is going to be socialization time. It just kind of happened, and I felt that it had positive impact on easing the atmosphere, getting everybody to get closer to each other. The group forming kind of was expedited more.
Maybe sort of negative in that it's been harder for us to flip to being task-oriented from being process-oriented. And I guess maybe I'm throwing being social in with the process because we really value that. We take the time to hear everybody talk, and it takes us a long time to come to consensus, and we take time to listen to everybody's stories, and even when it doesn't have anything to do with the task, it's just about getting to be friends and getting to know each other. So that's the way it's affected.
But I have to say too that potentially there could be time waste in this, so it has to be an idea of balance.
Socialization has really helped with the way things function. I'd say it would be more of a positive thing, knowing where people are coming from, knowing what they're like in real life.
This reminds me of a story which I'd like to tell.
Please.
I was working on a Swedish project in Laos, and we were working with a road building team comprising Laotians, Swedes, British and Australian people. Because often in Swedish projects they employ people from other nationalities apart from Swedes. And we had a team, and I was involved in doing a training course, and I heard that they were using elephants in the forest to clear trees, and I wanted to see the elephants at work. And so they said, oh, well, we'll organise a trip. Well, in fact, I had to organise the trip. And I managed to scrounge 7 Land Cruisers from various projects. And everybody was very excited about this one-day trip to see the elephants. And it was 100 miles away, and we all drove down this new road that had been constructed, and we arrived at the camp, and we had this lunch, and people had a lot to drink, and everyone was very happy and was singing and dancing, and I said, well, where are the elephants? And they said, well, it's the rainy season, there are no elephants here. And everybody except me knew that there was no elephants to be found at that time. So we got back and everybody had a great time, and you know, it had been an excuse, a kind of legitimate excuse, if you like, for socialisation under the guise of the needs of a project to educate me.
And did you notice, were you working with them before that incident?
Yes,
and after? And
yes.
did you notice a tighter connection, a deeper understanding?
We had some common experience, shared experience to refer to, and so often that was a funny example which was often used and brought up.
Excellent. James, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
I'm Matthew Abrams, signing off, but I'm really going to be someone else for the real interview, so I'll think of that name.
Scratch that.
Can I be someone else too?
I'm Crispin Sage.
And I'm Paprika Jones.
And together...
And we are News Tonight Jones.
And together...
we are... Oh, you said
No, you're right.
I'm sorry.
I'm Crispin Sage.
And I'm Paprika Jones.
And we are News Tonight. I'm Crispin Jones.
And I'm Paprika Jones. You're Crispin Sage.
Come on, seriously.
Okay.
Buckle down. Can you think of a specific circumstance where you had a socialization time within a multicultural setting, either with your OB1 group or throughout any of your multicultural teamwork, that was either effective or not effective? Just some salient example.
No. I feel like I'm on
Can
the
you
spot.
make one up?